What's up, Jammies? Welcome back to another episode of Ricky's Ram Jam. And that's right, it's draft season and it's right around the corner. It's a week away. Have you done your mocks? Have you looked at all the players you think that the Rams are going to pick? Well, we're going to dive into all things draft with NFL's Daniel Jeremiah, the absolute draft guru, right? He is going to break it down, and I love seeing him and all of his insights. So stay tuned for that. But first, let's do a pre-draft coin toss. What do you think? Okay, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to give you two options. We're going to flip the coin, and you're going to tell me in the comments what you think is more likely going to happen. Are you going to pick option 1 or option 2? Okay. Option 1, the Rams make some sort of trade in the first round, moving up, moving back, moving out, make some sort of trade. Option 1. Option 2, there's been a lot of chatter about defensive players, but what about with their first pick at number 26, they take an offensive player? So are we going offense or a trade? Option 1 or 2? Let me know in the comments below. All right, excited to see my good friend Daniel Jeremiah. Also, I don't know, the busiest guy on the planet year round, but probably right now, the lead draft analyst for NFL Media and host of the Move the Sticks podcast. I see you're doing something with Greg Rosenthal. I haven't shared that one.
I'm not going to let you know if that's a volunteer or hostage situation. I'll just leave that up to your imagination.
Yeah, I've seen some of the clips, so I feel like I know what's going on there. DJ, how are you?
I'm doing great. It literally is always my favorite time of the year. My wife always jokes that it's like Christmas for me with the draft, and so now it's like the anticipation of the excitement to come. It's such a weird draft. There's like little known, so that makes it fun.
How many potential draftees would you say you've scouted headed into?
So I do 400. Draft? So I've got probably 12 guys left to watch that are pop-up guys. In other words, they just like blew it out at their pro day, like some small school ran a fast time. So like that's my little cleanup duty that I've got to do here before we get to the draft.
Wow, that's crazy. The Rams were busy in free agency, adding a lot of pieces on offense. Post free agency, what do you think are some of the positions of need for this team?
Well, I think you can look at the corner position as a direction they could go and add to that group. The front, obviously, they've built the best young defensive front in football. So to try and complete that side of the ball, I think you could look at the corner position. Linebackers, another area they could go. I know obviously bringing in Devontae is huge, but I wouldn't mind them, throwing another receiver in that mix as well to go along with Puka. So we've got Tutu. They've got like a variety of skill sets there. But I know I can look at corner and I can look at linebacker, look at the defensive side of the ball, and I can justify that. And then there's the selfish Sean McVay fan in me that's like, no, just give him I want another offensive chess piece so I can watch how he's going to use them and morph this new offense with these new pieces. Yeah.
Currently, right now, you never know with this Rams team. They sit at 26th overall.
Yeah.
Who do you think I've looked at your different mock drafts and a bunch of mock drafts out there. Where do you see them going with this 26th pick?
There's always guys just kind of feel like Rams players to me, and guys that have kind of been consistent through the whole process. They've been, they have a little bit of a track record of what they're looking for and what they identify and how successful they've been. So I think it was in my last one was Trey Amos, the corner from Ole Miss, who's just a really good football player. Continues to like ace all the tests all throughout the entire process. And from a Ram standpoint, defensively, like they're all competitive, aggressive, urgent. There's just an edge to the guys that they have. And I think he plays a little bit like that.
Yeah. I mean, 26 is also the type of spot that the Rams have traded back from before. What do you think would be the benefit of the Rams trading back from 26 if they were to do that? Yeah,
I think that to me, it would be very forward thinking to move backward is the way I would phrase that. This is a great draft to move back. And to be honest with you, I would try and accumulate some capital on next year's draft in the process. So, whereas you just look at it, hey, I'm going to get an offer. We'll give you a third, fourth round pick to slide back a little bit. You're like, you know what? We'll slide back 5, 6 spots. See if we can pick up a higher pick in next year's draft.
Is that sort of like scout talk, wink, wink, like next year's class is pretty good, guys. I think hold on.
I think it's both a little bit of a look forward to next year, but also a little bit of an indictment on this year's group of,
Right.
I don't know, that where they're picking at 26, the player at 26 versus the player at 40. I think it's negligible. So I think that's kind of says a little bit about both classes.
Got you. Tight end is what many consider one of those positions of need for this team. How do you look at this year's tight end crop versus, last year or previous years?
It's outstanding. Outstanding. And if you're going to say who's the tight end for the Rams, I would say Mason Taylor. 10 times out of 10, just take it to the bank. Like that would be a home run pick for me. I think he's like 32 on my list. He'll end up climbing up a few more spots in my final one, but he is the literally scouting dictionary definition of a double off the wall. Like you're not going to miss on this guy. Like when I grew up, like my dad was a pastor. My uncle was a firefighter. Like that's what I grew up around. This guy's Jason Taylor and Zach Thomas. Like when he was at the kitchen table and when he was at Christmas, like he's around Hall of Famers. He's grown up with greatness. He's not big for him at all. His first year at LSU, ho hum, Alabama, night game at home. He catches a game-winning touchdown as a true freshman. Like it's not too big for him at all. And they rave about him as a kid at LSU. So that to me, Les, he's an Auburn guy. He have to probably plug his nose a little bit to take the LSU tight end, but I think he'd be okay with it.
Yeah. Would you think that the tight end position is that group, or is there a position group this year that you think is deeper than it's been in a while?
Yeah, running back, tight end.
Okay.
It's that kind of a draft. It's not really a premier position draft. Now, there is a lot of depth of defensive line, so I should say that. And we have DTs and we have edge guys. There's a good group of those players. But, quarterback, not deep. But offensive tackle, not really deep. Corner, okay, not great. But, man, you need a tight end and a running back. Like the fountain is flowing this year with those two positions.
Okay. So the Rams have no doubt set themselves up for success heading into the season, but finish this question. The Rams can't leave the 2025 draft without addressing blank.
I think they need another corner. I do. I just think of who you have to get through, not only on the division side, the NFC side, but then, look, their goal when you have Matthew coming back is to win another Super Bowl. And what comes out of the AFC at this point in time with the quarterbacks and the passing offenses. And to get that done, yeah, they can rush, no doubt, but they need to get a little bit better on the back end and improve there. So that would be, to me, you'd like to leave this draft with someone you feel like can be a long-term starter at corner.
Right. And last year, the Rams selected Jared Verse, Defensive Rookie of the Year.
How'd that work out? I think he was okay.
He was all right. He was decent this year. 19th overall. But then they traded a second-round pick to move up and get Braden Fisk, which I think that was a little bit of surprise last year. In what ways did those two exceed expectations?
Well, I mean, I really like both players, and I thought where they were, they both, that represented value with where they got them. But it goes back to what we were talking about a little bit earlier. Not only are they great players, but there's just there's an exuberance and an energy and a passion that they play with that I think is kind of a multiplying effect on everybody else. So the good players play good. Great players bring up the level of everyone else around them. And these guys proved year one to not only, the NFL game's not too big for them. They've established themselves as premier players at their positions in the league, not rookies, like just players, period. And then, I thought they would be really good players. They exceeded my expectations in terms of how well they played, like right out the jump. But even beyond that, I think I give them credit for forging an identity of this defense. Like they are that defensive identity. Those guys play their what's off.
Yeah, absolutely. Les Snead and the Rams have hit home run picks with their later round picks. Like, what makes Les and his group so good at scouting the late round talent? I'll list a few. Byron Young was a third round. Kobe Turner was a third round. Kyron Williams, 5th round. Puka Nacua, 5th round.
Yeah, I think to me they've done a better job than, I would say, truthfully, than anyone else in the league at scouting the person as well as the player. So, I mean, that's just point blank. Like, those guys are all wired properly. They're ultra competitive. They know exactly the person that they're looking for. People always talk about like scheme fits. Like, how does this player's ability fit into our scheme? They've found like personality, people fits as well as they've found scheme fits. And those guys are all just, they're just wired. And I think so many of the advances in scouting and it's gone. And I think a lot of it is like analytics. And we've talked about, being smart in that. And the Rams have that. Every team we all have the same numbers. We can all crunch the same numbers and come to the same conclusions. And we can say this guy's overrated, this guy's undervalued. But there is a big difference in how these teams, direct their scouts and their staff and the resources to evaluate the person. And they've done a really, really good job of that.
Lastly, DJ, give us some day 3 guys that you think would be worth the pick and will make an impact.
Oh, I'll tell you some day 3 guys. Let's go. We've kind of done a little bit of a theme on the corner position here. So I'll give you some day 3 corners that I think, are going to be really, really good players. Let's go to Jacob Parrish from Kansas State. He's got a chance. Maybe he goes in the 3rd round, but he's a little under 5'10". He ran in the 4.3s. He's ultra competitive, just a really, really good player. Mac McWilliams, great name, out of Central Florida. Had a big week at the Senior Bowl. We know Les and company love that. So he's another one I think would be a fun pick there. And then let's go with one more I think is, to me, might be more in that 3rd round range. But you look at Noel Williams from Cal, who's got a ton of production. And look, when you have 3 interceptions against Auburn, I guarantee you Les watched that tape. So I'm going to say Noel Williams is a good option there as well.
All right, DJ, before I let you go, it's time for the Ram Jam where I ask the same 3 questions, rapid fire style. DJ, What's a red flag about you?
Oh, a red flag about me. Gosh, I'll tell you a red flag about me. I can't eat a protein bar without spilling on myself. That's a red flag about me. I have a major problem.
Yeah,
They're crumbly. I don't know. It's not good.
If you weren't doing this job, where would you be right now?
If I wasn't doing this job, where would I be right now? I would probably be, where would I be? Oh, I'd be like at an athletic director's meeting for the local high school. That's what I'd be. I'd have some kid who got in trouble and I'm trying to, calm the waters. That's where I'd be.
What is your favorite sports moment of all time?
Oh my gosh, that's a great one. This
Loaded,
is gonna take me way back. So I grew up an Indiana Hoosiers basketball fan. Don't tell Rhett. But I was literally a little kid. I think it was 1984? No, 1987. I was 10 years old, and Indiana won the national championship in basketball. Keith Smart hit a jump shot to win the game, and I had a green couch. I remember it. I'm 47 now, so this is 37 years ago, and I can vividly remember my parents were not home. Me and my brother watching the game, and I was jumping up and down. And we're not allowed to jump on the couch as kids, like back then. No, but it was like we're so excited, just jumping up and down on the couch when Indiana won the national championship. So that was up there.
I love that. DJ, thank you. I look forward to watching you on NFL Network's live coverage for the whole weekend at the draft. It's so great to see you, and thank you so much for your time.
That's great to see you. Always enjoy it, and proud of you for all you're doing.
You too. There he goes. DJ is such a pro, and I love listening to him speak. And make sure you catch him on NFL Network's live coverage for the entire NFL draft, which will be amazing. All right, that does it for this pre-draft Ricky's Ram Jam. The draft is just 1 week away, so make sure you keep it locked on everything Rams throughout days 1, 2, and 3. We'll be back with a post-draft episode in a couple weeks to sum it all up. But until then, let's ram it.